Hey there, lovely beans. It's time for a little change and react to our Sappho and her friend. If you're new here and you don't know who I am, I'm just a gay little fox on the internet with a voice that seems to comfort and melt people. If you don't know what our Sappho and her friend is, well, it's just gals being pals. So let's get on with the memes and possibly a secret ending, just like last time. Greets a fan is now my new favorite euphemism. Kelly O'Hara greets a fan after the US WNT's World Cup victory. Yeah. I remember this. I think I remember OT reacting to something like this not long, a year or two ago, quite possibly, if I remember correctly. But yeah, you know, the best way to greet a fan after you've had a victory is to grab them by the head and give them one big old smooch. Yeah, Yeah, the best way to congratulate yourself on getting a victory and greeting a fan is to grab them by the head, lift them up, and then give them a big old smooch. Because that's how you do it, right? Is that not how you do it? I feel like that's how you do it. My grandmother and her friend, 1940s. Yeah, it's just two gal pals making out. In a not very romantic area where there are a bunch of flowers and it's probably like a garden and it's just a nice, beautiful day. Not a thing that will ever happen. No, We broke up. Males are so horrible and pathetic. I am so sorry, Queen. I was dating another woman. She broke up with her roommate. No. Oh no. It's so frustrating how often people just assume heterosexual relationships. Like, it's infuriating. It's frustrating. It's so demoralizing sometimes because like you just feel like you're not seen and that you feel like we live in a society, but like we live in a world where people just don't think before they speak, and it kind of really shows for a lot of like, even like if they're not bigots, it's just for a lot of cishet people, like how little thought they put into the fact that maybe somebody is something other than being straight, and there isn't like any care for that person's there's just no care. So also I love the fact that this middle one was ratioed by the bottom one. Thank Christ. Now I just have to figure out a way to make good on my promise to find all those people new homes. Funny you should say that. Asami just started drawing up some plans for new housing development. The quicker we can get people back to some sense of normalcy, the better. I totally agree. Want to show me what you have in mind? I'd love to. Those two make a good team, don't they? Okay, here's the thing. Yes, they make a good team, but I know in these comics, they definitely are a lesbian couple, and the fact that like they work so well together is so good. Heck yeah, I am so upset that we did not get to see anything with them when they went to the spirit world together, because like it ends with them going and then the comics pick up afterwards, and Korra, if I remember, Korra talks to Kaya about being gay. Because Kaya was able to pick up on the fact that Korra and Asami were dating. And Korra had recently just come out to her parents. Kaya talks about how she understands that her parents come from a place where within the Water Tribe, they mind each other's business and they keep family matters private. And Korra asked her how did Aang treat her whenever she came out. And Kaya just basically said that Aang was very accepting because he came from their tribe where people there loved each other. And they were open with who they loved too. So it didn't matter if you were gay, straight, bi, or pan. And honestly, I wish that we didn't just get this in the comics, but also on TV. I think it would have been very, very helpful for a lot of people to have seen this. Sappho, bilitus, missing incidental details, and the otherwise complete historical record. Historians, they were gal pals. Yeah, yep, yeah. Again, just two gals. Oh god, this reminds me of the TikTok of
two girls sitting in a hot tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay. Wait, they were gay!
Yeah, I know historians up to a point have been nothing but cis straight white men who have just taken their own spin on everything and have been trying to erase any form of queerness or blackness or any kind of like basically non-whiteness in history to further a white supremacist goal. And it's not going to work. Cameroon president's daughter hints at same-sex relationship. The daughter of Cameroon's president has shared an image in which she is kissing another woman, sparking mixed reactions in a country where same-sex relationships are illegal. sometimes I read things like this and it just makes me sad. And I don't think this is hinting at, I think this is more of being a very direct, like, no, she's gay. No, she's gay. But it's I have to deal with people in my chat sometimes talking about how they don't like the words. I have fortunately not had to deal with this much, but the few times that I have had to deal with it, it's just disgusting. But I've had people come into my chat on Twitch and they say some of the most ridiculous stuff, and they act like they are the victims because they don't like it when a single adjective is being opposed on them, when they're the ones who are part of the group that is currently writing legislation to make people like myself be illegal. Actually, I had this conversation with one of my coworkers where I said, depending on how the results of the election goes, either I will stay in this country or I will seek asylum in another country, potentially Canada, because it's the one that's closest to me. And she was just like, oh, well, I said, I was like, well, Project 2025. And we had this conversation and I had to point out to her, it's like, yeah, the playbook of Project 2025 is what are laws that we currently see in both Florida and Texas. And what will happen is both those laws will be in effect like nationwide. And she was confused. She was like, wait, what do you mean? And I was like, they're gonna kill gay and trans people. Because step one is to make it illegal to be gay or trans by making it they won't make it illegal. They'll make the wording specifically something along the lines of, I think what's in Florida, no, Texas, of wording that's in Texas, where being gay, trans, or a drag queen in front of a child would be considered a sexual act against a child. And then the law in Florida states that sexual acts against a child can be punishable by death. Put those two together, and what do you have? And she just kind of looked at me dumbfounded like, that's insidious. I was like, yeah, it is. That's why this election matters so much for so many people, and to make sure that we do not let him win. We cannot stop talking about Project 2025. We cannot stop talking about the things that will happen if he gets back into office. And I know he's been trying to distance himself from Project 2025, but he keeps saying their points in his rallies. He is not away from it like he says he is. He's in the middle of it. Historic. The Sanlu lovers died around 800 BC and were discovered in 1972. They died in what seems to be an embrace or kiss, and remained that way for 2,800 years. DNA results later reveal that they were both male. The nature of their relationship is unknown. Yeah, the lovers kiss and now their relationship is unknown. Yeah. That's definitely how that works. Definitely not two guys kissing right up to their death. No, It's just... But like, this just shows, like, even way before like modern society, that queer people existed. We have history, we have culture, we have been around for millennia. It is not an unnatural thing. It is not an uncommon thing. It is not a new thing. We've been around and we've been living our lives happily and peacefully for a very long time. And yeah, it's just... I think it's stuff like this that just casually erases it and just is like, yeah, well, they were lovers, but we're not really sure anymore because, like, we found out that they were gay. So, ugh. Is Vi and Kaylin in a relationship? No, they only confirm a romantic relationship, and Lucian and Kaylin and Vi are co-workers. What do you mean? They are both police and Piltover. What do you mean? Did we... Okay, sure, buddy. Portraits of Josina Clara von Kitters and Anna Maria Gould, Gottfried Schlacklin, 1643-1706, oil canvas on 1699-1706. When was something a matter of friendship? When was it love or lust? These are portraits of two best friends, painted as pendants, a form usually reserved for married couples. The two women lived together for 30 years and were with each other's soul heirs. Gould died first. Van Sitters asked her relatives to bury them side by side and for their portraits to always hang together. Yeah, yeah, two best friends. Yeah, just two best friends. Just not at all anything else. No, You know, it's just, yeah, that's just it. Want to get buried next to the homies. Yeah, that's not gay. That's not gay at all. No. No. Oh, why would you ever think anything otherwise than it's just being two best friends? Yeah. Oh my god. What does this portrait even look like? Yeah, yeah, these two paintings right here are definitely of two best friends and not being painted in a at all gay way. No, nope. Just two gal pals. St. Jane's woman gets kidney from girlfriend. Now that's friendship. Lori is truly a hero in every sense. Getting a kidney removed can't be fun. If I ever had to donate one, I would, but I'd definitely be scared. Now that's friendship. Friendship. Just some wonderful gals being life-saving pals. They're literally kissing in the pig. Also the title is Woman Gets Kidney from Girlfriend. Oh my God. This is like the whole erasure with like the whole lesbian erasure. Is that it's okay to say girlfriend when it's two girls being friends, and it like just erases the fact that women can date each other. But yet when you say boyfriend, it immediately becomes gay and is wrong, and it becomes more of a controversy. And it's just like, listen, if we can't say boyfriend the same way that we say girlfriend, then you're just erasing gay people. And you're erasing gay people in a way that is just so targeted. To say that it's wrong for women to date each other, and to say that being gay as a guy is just inherently just... I hate people sometimes. Who are Haley and Kendra? Let's know about their age, relationship, and more. Gracie Hale, BFF goals, interesting facts, relationship, married biography, blah. Okay. I just want to like gross about their age. Who cares? Who cares about that for starters? All right. Secondly, how could you be married biography and talk about BFF? Okay, you know what? Actually, no, I take this back. It is BFF goals to marry your best friend. Yeah. I mean, that's what I did. I married my best friend. But oh my God, why are people like this? Eternal Sisters, Gothic Skeletons figurine, 24 centimeters in stock. Yeah, sisters. Yeah, definitely sisters. Just sisters. Don't ignore them holding each other's hips and waist. And also, I don't know if you saw this little detail, but the hard hands in the middle. Yeah, sisters. Yeah, sisters. Yeah, sisters. Yeah. Barbie and Midge, travel pals. Yeah, travel pals. Yep. Just using the same bag because totally not using similar makeup. Nope. Definitely not. No. They're not using the same lip stain. Definitely not using at all. Nope. No. Why would you use the same lip stain? That's like almost making out with your best friend. Who would do that? Hey, love. There's a bond between girlfriends that lasts forever. Girlfriends have a heart connection. They create a bond with each other. You may feel like they found a real sister to add to their joy in life. Yes, a real sister. Yeah. And again, just gal pals. Just gal pals. Not anything else. Out with friends. Just two friends. Oh yeah. Just two friends. Yeah. Yeah. Just, two friends holding hands, giggling and laughing. It's just two gal pals. Could never be anything else. I feel like I'm gonna be saying that a lot in this, aren't I? It's just the erasure of just being gay. It's just so strong that it just hurts. Toast to this cute friendship we saw at the baseball game tonight. Keeping each other warm. # friendship goals. Yeah. Just two women enjoying a baseball game together, probably out traveling, maybe going cross country for no other reason. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Hey there, quick little intermission just to say, you're amazing. That's it for now. Now back to the memes.
Nobody. 2020. Oh, look at them, always together, just gals being pals. 2024. Those are lesbians, Harold! When I first watched Hazbin Hotel, I have to say I loved Vaggie so much. I was like, like I already found my favorite character. It's only been one episode and I know who my favorite character is. And then we get the entire series on Netflix and it just, yep, yep. 2020 would have been right before I even thought that I was trans too. Yeah. Wild how things work out. A modern retelling of Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray is in the works at Netflix. I take it back. What the f do you mean Basil and Dorian are going to be brothers? Written by Katie Rogers. The Greys is a contemporary take on the Oscar Wilde classic about our fascination with eternal youth, set against the backdrop of the modern beauty industry, and a twist on the Gothic novel. The series revolves around siblings Basil and Dorian Gray. Siblings Basil and Dorian Gray. Never mind, cancel it. Oscar Wilde didn't write the gayest Victorian era novel, which was used on a trial as evidence for his homosexuality for this. What the Netflix? You know, when cis people complain about there being too much gay representation, like queer representation in media, I don't think they understand how often queer representation also gets erased. Like, in a case like this, where you have what is clearly a love relationship between, you know, two men being rewritten to be siblings, brothers. It's infuriating. Like, the thing though is just like, when you erase representation that was already there, you're basically washing away our history. You're washing away the history of those who have struggled to be where they were and to live in a world and a society that did not accept them for who they were. And taking that away from a community that is already being targeted, and a community that is already being hated, and a community that is already having legislation written against it, just sends a clear message that you do not stand for that community. You do not stand with that community. There's something else to be said about Netflix as a whole. Honestly, screw Netflix. But it just shows that, like, whatever makes these corporations money is something that they're willing to do if it means that they don't upset a bunch of people. And by a bunch of people, I mean a very small, vocal minority of people. There's a reason why these stories were written, that they were gay. Representation matters. I think Rose saw Pearl as being like a daughter to her. In this picture here, she looks at Pearl like a mom would look at her daughter. Her expression is very motherly. When she says, "My Pearl," I think she means my little girl. Rose never saw Pearl romantically, but she saw her as being like a daughter to her. Ugh, no. If you think that was a mother-daughter relationship kind of vibe, I think you missed the entirety of this, like the whole point of this show. Rose did, oh my god. Pearl's whole arc was that she was grieving a lost lover. Like, that was her whole, like, the majority of her story and her arc was just living with the fact that she had lost somebody that she, like, romantically loved, and now has to protect her child, like, her partner's child. There was so much, like, queer representation in Steven Universe, and so much of it was very sapphic, and it was just so good. It's almost like saying Garnet is just Ruby and Sapphire being gal pals, and their friendship just makes Garnet. It's so wrong. It feels wrong. That's not right. Because, like, if I remember correctly, Rose's whole thing was that she was very, like, antithetical to the other diamonds, and didn't agree with the fact that she had to be reserved and, like, be an authoritarian figure. She wanted to be expressive and be herself and express herself in ways that were not viewed as acceptable by the other diamonds. Maybe the only one who kind of, like, was okay with it was Blue Diamond, but even then Blue was still kind of, like, not really into the idea of Rose freely expressing herself. And the relationship between Rose and Pearl was very, very gay. And so it feels wrong. It's just, so much of this just feels wrong. I'm genuinely confused. Is this person who was born male but has transitioned into female playing a male character? I'm really confused. I'm not transphobic. I'm trying to understand something here. She identifies as a woman but is playing a man? I'm genuinely confused why they would do that. Okay, I think that looks like Abigail Thorne. I could be wrong, but if it is Abigail Thorne, two things. One, I read the comments and saw that she is still playing a female character who just gets called Sir and he, him because she's the captain. Secondly, it's called theater. I had to try to do that as, like, snobby as I could. But men play women, and that was a huge part of, like, the history of, like, the theater stage dramas. If I remember correctly, there were no women in Shakespeare's plays. All of the women characters were played by men. And when you are in a theater class, it's not uncommon to see people act as the other gender for a night or two. Usually it's not, I don't think it's not done often in high school. I don't know how often it's done otherwise, but, like, this idea that, like, the gender binary so strict that it even affects something like the theater is so ignorant of like past theatrical history. Another thing that pops in my mind too is like geishas were men at the start, and then they became women later. The idea that there are certain things that are inherently female and male is just, it gets broken down when you look back at history. And so honestly, I don't care if Abigail Thorne in this case is playing a woman who gets referred to as a guy. Maybe that's, unless she's like had more involvement in it and was saying that it was okay. But it's part of acting. It's a part of theater. You shouldn't use this as like just an overall like excuse, but the big thing is just there's a lot of things that happen on the stage and behind the scenes that you don't see that take place with the actors and the director, and you just dig a little bit. I can't hear editing, and I just wanted to add a little point here. One, I'm not calling Abigail Thorne a man. She's a wonderful, fantastic person, and you should go check out Philosophy too. But two, it's not uncommon to see women playing men nowadays. In fact, I watched an entire play, but the concept was that the entire cast was nothing but women, and it was a play about two men who are going through bad breakups. So just a little side note, and yeah. Watching this makes me feel calm. I could do it forever. As for me, I feel most calm when I am gripping a steering wheel. Dummy, I wasn't talking about the fish. Oh, 9 surefire signs you found the man you should marry. I knew I was going to marry my husband within a week of connecting with him. Who's gonna tell them? Who's gonna tell them? That ain't no man. That is not a guy. Yeah, I assume this is from Sailor Moon. It's from Sailor Moon. I assume it's from Sailor Moon. First cousins, now this. Yeah, what is up with people like just casually erasing lesbians? Can we just let girls be girls and like enjoy girl things, whether it be other girls, and not ever have to worry about it? Yeah. Oh my god. 2 gal pals on Supermarket Sweep. Wait. There's another one for this. I love watching all episodes of Supermarket Sweep because these two said they were business partners who design sets for plays. And I'm like, oh, I'm sure. Important update. Tim Leach, here we are, just celebrated our 41st anniversary, married in 2008 on our 25th anniversary, as soon as it was legal in California. We ran a business together, designed and painting backdrops for sets for 27 years. Hell yeah. I think that's another thing too, is I don't think a lot of people realize that like gay marriage hasn't been fully legalized in this country for more than a decade, right? Is it a decade this year? It hasn't even been a decade yet. Jesus Christ. Actually, I remember the day that it happened. I woke up in my bed with a friend next to me, and the first thing she said was, gay marriage is legalized? And I just turned over and went, hell yeah, let's go. Finally. So, yeah, Also, don't worry about it. Rock Hudson, Bachelor on the Loose. What kind of romance does he want? A Screen album exclusive, How the Star Lives. Portrayed as a ladies' man while being a promiscuous gay guy. Rock Hudson would die of AIDS in 1985 at age 59. Ugh, that's the other thing too. That's just so infuriating. It's just queer people get so fetishized by cis straight culture, and it's so disgusting. It shows a lack of understanding and a lack of knowledge, and it also kind of gives the same vibes of like that guy talking to his friend of being like, you're gay, right? So just don't be into me. What do you mean you're not into me? No, be into me. I want you to be into me because then I can be disgusted about the fact that you're into me. Come on. It's just like, why? Why do you get so upset so easily? I swear the actual snowflakes are the ones who... This whole Xena trading card is without a doubt the funniest possible example of Gal Pal style erasure, eternal friends, and it's Xena and Gabriella. You know, I used to watch that show as a kid and I really loved it. It and Hercules, which by the way, I don't care for Hercules anymore. But the Xena was definitely maybe I should have thought more about myself when I was younger and why I liked Xena so much and why I looked like, out of all the characters that I liked, it was Gabriella. I was a Gabriella person, and now I kind of look back and I'm just like, should have thought about that a little bit more. Whoops.
My family accepts me as gay and keeps insisting that I bring my partner to family functions and stuff. Only, I'm not gay, and he's my best friend / roommate. No one believes I'm not gay, and no matter what I say, they assume I'm just being shy about it.
That's rough, buddy.
Okay. This is like almost kind of the reverse of what this subreddit mostly is. It's... I've been here. I've been that guy. My mom thought I was gay for the longest time, and she would try and ask any question in any possible way to be like, "Are you sure you're not gay?" And I was just always just like, "Yeah, 100%. I do not like men. I only like women." And I talked about this like in I think the first video that I uploaded of how we were sitting at a accounting office waiting to do our taxes because it was a family friend's place, and my mom turned to me in the lobby and said, "Question, your uncle is a computer engineer and you are just now going into computer engineering, right?" I go, "Yeah, that's right." And she continues with, "So your uncle's gay. Are you also gay? Because like he's a computer engineer and you're going to be a computer engineer, and we're just kind of figuring out if there's like a correlation there." And my jaw dropped so fast and I was just like, no, mom, what? No, I like women and only women. I don't like men. Ugh. And now I would say, no, I don't like men. I like anyone but men. So yeah, that's yeah. How'd I feel this? Didn't he have a male lover or something? Yes, he had 2 important gay lovers, Hephaestion and Lagos. On the other hand, Alexander had 3 wives, Roxana of Bacteria, Cysteria of Persia, and Peristasis of Persia, but only 1 son, Alexander IV of Macedonia. 1 female more, so he wasn't gay? What? No! Oh my god. I swear, this is just bisexual erasure right here. Ah, yes, he had two gay lovers and 3 straight lovers. He therefore was not gay. It's like, it's not gay to kiss the homies if you're still wearing your socks. Like, how much rule bending do you have to add to just be able to like not feel like you feel seen? Like, how much rule bending do you have to add to your heterosexuality to feel like you're not like, how? Oh my god, I swear to god, should we just go to, are the straights okay? That's what I'm feeling here. Complete the sentence.
Meine Freundin ist Schauspielerin.
My friend is an actress. Duolingo, so close.
It's no use, mother dear. I can't finish my weaving. You may blame Aphrodite. Soft as she has almost killed me with love for that girl.
Bad translation. The original word is in Greek is, I can't say that, which is gender neutral, meaning youth. Given what we know about Sappho's love for women, translating this into the masculine is fanfic / queer erasure. Yeah, I don't understand people sometimes. Just the subtle erasure is so disgusting. And props to you for changing that. Thank God. But at the same time, subtle block here. But
I know a lot of you have been asking for me to do ASMR stuff, and I just want you to know there's already a channel for that. I mean, mostly all I do is I do readings of poetry, and one of the things that I do is I read some of Sappho's poems. You can go find it over here if you want to go check it out, but I haven't posted anything there recently because that page hasn't been doing super well. But if you would like to see more, just let me know and I can post to that page again. Anyways, thank you so much for reaching the end of this video, and the fact that you did either means you fell asleep to the video or enjoyed it enough to reach the end. And I do want to say that both of those are amazing, because I do see all the comments of how warm and comforting they are. Now with that said, here's your little blooper and the secret ending right after.
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get so many questions. Please no. I woke up with a friend in my bed next to me. Yeah, what was a friend doing in your bed? Don't worry about it. We were just gal pals who sang a lot of karaoke together.
Hey, come here for a second and put your forehead to mine. I just want you to know that you are doing an amazing job and that you are doing your best. Facing the tough task ahead of you takes courage, and it takes a lot of bravery. You're doing great, and it's okay to take breaks as well. I'm proud of you, and you should feel proud of yourself for getting this far. Keep it up, sweetie. You brighten the day of those around you and make their days significantly better with your presence. There's another forehead kiss. Now have a good day, sweetie.